What's up, Leo? Welcome to your November 2020 Creativity Tarot reading. My name is Kaylee Jean, and welcome to my channel. I record these readings for artists, entrepreneurs, and anyone who's working on their personal growth, self-expression, or spirituality in any form. So if these areas of life are important for you, or if you're interested in entrepreneurship and making things happen for yourself, definitely go ahead and keep watching. I want to jump right into your meditation message, Leo. So just kind of reconnecting to that, but really it was very, very clear. I was getting a view of like a dark horizon and almost like the sun just barely starting to come up. And it was really, really beautiful. And the message actually that I got, I don't know if this is going to sound kind of intense for some of you, but maybe it's just important for someone to know out there that the long night, if you have been experiencing a long night or something that has been really difficult for you, it really is ending. And I feel this tremendous sense of relief. It's like, oh my gosh, like dawn is coming, you know? So I don't know if that is gonna resonate at all, because I don't know what your situation is, Leo, but I really feel like you've been worried, and I feel like you've been giving a lot of your attention to something that you're afraid of the outcome, or you're afraid of what's going to happen, basically. And I just feel like no matter what the situation ends up being in your personal life, Leo, or in your career, I feel like it's going to be okay. Like whatever you are seeing yourself coming out of, or you're coming through and you're on the other side of it, it's like everything is going to work out really, really well. And that might be something that you don't necessarily strongly resonate with when you're in those like dark moments. And again, this is like sounding like such a heavy reading. I hope that it doesn't come across that way, but I think it's important when you do have, a meditation like that, it's important to just like address it head on and recognize that no matter what happens, Leo, the message that's coming through is it's like there's going to be a rainbow after this storm. That's basically what it feels like. So let's take a look at your cards and we'll get some more information. And we're going to get you your Bob Ross message, as well as your Animal Spirit Oracle cards. And I'm also going to pull a Sacred Destiny Oracle card for your landscape. Leo, Leo, Leo. Leo. Okay, so I was also just getting a message just now about like something about hunger, or like a feeling of being insatiable. Like I don't think this maybe for most people like has to do with physical hunger, but it's more like a strong desire for something, maybe some kind of peace that you're hungry for, or some kind of like development in your life that you're hungry for. And it's weird, Leo, but I almost want to say I feel like you already have it. I don't know, like I feel like you're looking to something like that you're hungry for like in the future, but it's like you have it now. If you go deeper with where you're at now, I think you're going to realize that you actually do have what you want. It's just you're not habituated to recognizing that. And that doesn't mean that you don't want more or that you're not going to experience more, because we always are growing. But it's like, remember that in the past, you desperately wanted to be where you are now in some way, shape, or form, right? Like, not in every way, but there were definitely things that you wanted deeply, and you have it at this moment, and now you're focused on the next thing. But remember that you completed desires that you had in the past. So don't just be hungry, Leo, also be satisfied too. So your path card is the sea serpent, and the influence is the elk. Interesting. When I look at these cards, I feel like November is a time for you to, I want to say, embrace closer relationships in your life, whether that's with friends or with people that are in your personal life. The sea serpent is connected to the second chakra, which is the chakra of intimacy, physical intimacy, but it's also our seat of creativity as well. And the elk crossing you represents this like fire and focus going to that area of your life. So whether that's intimacy with a romantic partner, something like that could be developing and growing and becoming very impactful for you, or deepening in some way. But this could also be about you taking a new perspective on your creativity, as a person, and just feeling like you want to dive deeper into a new creative project, or something that you feel is going to be an expression of your authentic self. And it's like, we have a yin and we have a yang here so perfectly. We've got the sea serpent, which is a very yin, watery energy, and then you have the fiery elk. So it is going to be about, I guess, almost like the temperance card. It's like mixing energies and going with kind of like taking like a well-rounded approach. It's not always going to be about action, and it's not always going to be about the inward awareness. It's kind of like a blend. Wow. And the landscape that you're going through with the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck is truth. So it's like a plane, like rolling open plains where everything's visible. That's really interesting. I think we're going to have to get more information from your cards. So we've got 5 of Pentacles and 10 of Cups. Interesting. Ace of Wands and the Magician. 6 of Cups and the 10 of Swords, with the King of Swords and the 4 of Cups. Okay. This makes sense to me. Let me get a sip of water. So the first thing that came to me when I saw the first 2 cards for the beginning of the month is that with the 5 of Pentacles, there's some kind of energy of like limitation when it comes to your finances, or when it comes to practical limitations in your life. It's almost like you could be dealing with maybe like a lot of people are dealing with COVID lockdowns, or limitations on what they can, what they can do if they work in person, or if they have a business that's like a brick and mortar. Or it could be as well if your clients are affected by such measures or something along those lines. It's like there's this kind of real world limitation energy that I see with the 5 of Pentacles. But you also have the 10 of Cups with that. So it's kind of like the cards are saying something that at first feels like a limitation on you, or feels like something frustrating perhaps. It ends up, through your adeptness and through your creativity and through you looking for ways to really bond and connect and to be fulfilled and to form like valuable spaces is like what I want to say, which is such a weird way of such a weird like phrase. I don't know where that came from, but it's like you're creating like valuable spaces, either for yourself or for others, where you can actually feel quite satisfied and feel like there's something positive, there's a silver lining, there's something positive that's coming through. So it's like what starts out as a frustration or a limitation becomes something that's ultimately deeply satisfying for you, Leo, and deeply giving you an ability to be creative with your life. And I think that this really is going to come through your innovation, because you're a traditional sign in, the traditional way of looking at the signs, but you're the sun, so you shine light on things, you illuminate things, and you always want to be evolving and adapting. So I see you kind of feeling more hands-on in some way with the Ten of Cups, feeling like you can take these weird things that you have going on and reconstruct them and repurpose them into something that's actually going to be beneficial. So it looks like really actually very empowering. In the second week of November, again, we have that same theme being echoed around the time of that new moon in Scorpio, which for you symbolically falls in your 4th house. So again, this could be about working from home, working your magic from home. Some of you could be restarting your business but working from home, or you could be achieving greater success working from home in some way, or some of you could actually be, because it's in such a deep, sensitive part of your chart, you could be starting a new spiritual practice or a new, even magical tradition, ritual work basically within your home, which is actually going to provide really powerful effects for you, because you have the Magician holding up his wand, and then you've got the Ace of Wands. So it's obviously talking about your competence with some form of either creation, right? Because that wand could be a pen, it could be a pencil, it could be a keyboard, it could be it could be code, writing code, or it could be a literal wand and you're working with some kind of ritual work, for example, or shamanic work. So by the middle of the month, with that new moon in your 4th house, it's like there's a seed of either creativity or magic that's being planted in your life, and it's already starting to emit some kind of illumination. It's already starting to demonstrate to you that this is a high vibration path for you to follow, and I see just good things coming from it. So definitely a lot of empowerment amongst what seem to be disadvantages. Is really what we're seeing. So you're basically kicking ass, Leo. It's basically what I have to say. Now, with the 3rd week of November, you've got the 6 of Cups with the 10 of Swords. So this could be a totally different thing. Concern for a sibling or a childhood friend, I feel, in the 3rd week of November. The 6 of Cups is a happy card. Traditionally, it's associated with siblings and the past and good friends and connections. And the 10 of Swords can be anxiety, it can be frustration or melodrama as well. Like the pictorial card of the pictorial version of this card shows a person laying on the ground with a sword stuck in their back. So it can be a bit of like a melodramatic card. It can be talking about people who are losing their head a little bit, or who are kind of feeling at a loss in some way. But I don't really think it's you, Leo. I have to say, I don't really see your energy in these cards. If anything, I feel like you might be concerned for someone in your life and in your environment. And if you do feel that way, I'm going to suggest that you don't try and solve their problems for them, but maybe if you know somebody who you think could help them, like maybe if it's a friend or a sibling or something like that, and you happen to have worked with a really great therapist or a counselor in the past, maybe that 3rd week of November, it's a good idea to slip them their information, right? Just be like, hey, there's this really great counselor that, they've really helped me through difficult times. Maybe it would be useful for you right now to have a chat with them. That's kind of the feeling that I get, is like, offer something that has worked for you in a non-confrontational, non-judgmental way. But then also accept that like you don't have control over whatever that person's dealing with, you know? I think they're on their own journey and you kind of just have to accept whatever is going on with them, but you can offer support in whatever ways make sense. The end of the month comes up with the Four of Cups and the King of Swords. So the end of the month, the thing is, Leo, that I'm seeing is actually that the end of the month, there is this kind of culmination happening for you. I feel like you are going to need to speak your truth in some way at the end of the month, that you are going to feel at some point like you can't move forward emotionally with this person or with your business. Maybe if you are like an online entrepreneur, for example, you might feel like you really need to just say something and establish a position or just be honest. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to move past a certain threshold when it comes to your feeling of intimacy with intimacy and honesty with either like your audience or your customers, or if it's in your personal life, maybe with your partner or with a parent, or maybe it's the sibling from the week before. But the King of Swords is about radical truth and honesty, right? The King of Swords, he might care, you know, he might genuinely have empathy, but he also trusts that the other person can handle the truth and that they're strong enough to pick themselves up and keep going and make themselves better. So the King of Swords has confidence in people. And because of that, he honors them with the truth. That's what he feels is respectful, is to just speak in total honesty. And I think that's kind of where you're at the end of the month, Leo, is like you just have to speak your mind about something. Otherwise, you'll be in this Four of Cups place where it's like maybe it's okay, it's so-so, the relationship is humdrum, but it's not going to evolve. It's not going to go anywhere new or different if you don't just say what's on your mind. So I feel like that's kind of the position that you're in. But I think if you choose to go ahead and speak that honest truth, even if it's difficult, I do feel like you're going to be rewarded for it later on. And it will get the juices flowing again. So just keep that in mind. Your Bob Ross messages. Let's put a few highlights in there just to make sure those little rascals just sparkle in the sun. That's sweet. I think this is really about your Magician Ace of Wands pair in the second week of November. Honestly, to me, that looks like the most exciting week of the month. I think that you're going to be just feeling very in tune with yourself and very excited about what you're doing, and just a lot of expansion and growth. And that is just such a delicious feeling. So I think that that's going to carry over, but then there are going to be other concerns, mostly about other people, I think, at the in the second half of the month. So hopefully this reading is helpful to you in some way. Please let me know your thoughts and comments below. And if you enjoyed this reading, please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe to notifications so you never miss a reading. I hope you guys have an amazing month. Take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you next time.